32 then. We're going up to 32 then. 3. Okay. The book of Genesis, chapter 30 and verse 1. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister
Mhm.
and said unto Jacob, give me children, or else I die.
Right. So an envy spirit fell upon Rachel when she saw Leah bearing 4 sons and she didn't bear any children yet. So she became envious of, Rachel's household, her ability to have children. Read on.
And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel.
Right. So she automatically blamed Jacob. Right. Rachel being angered blamed Jacob, saying, give me children. Like if Jacob was holding back the children from Rachel. Right. But that's just, out of her anger. That's her reaction. But of course, it doesn't make sense because Jacob didn't have the ability to hold back children from Rachel. All right. He was laying with both his wives, but what? She just was not getting pregnant. All right. So let's see his response. Read.
And he said, am I in the Most High stead?
Right. He said, am I Most High? Am I God? That's what he asked her. Am I God? Read on.
Who have withheld from thee the fruit of the womb?
He said, he, the Most High, withheld from you the fruit of your womb. I did not doing it. Read on.
And she said, behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her.
Right.
And she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her.
Right. So why did he send her to go in onto Bilhah? Get a child where? From the maid. But why would that be significant to her? Because that's her maid. So that's part of her what? Her household. So she was looking at, so that's what proves that there's 2 separate households. Everybody understand that? Right, 2 separate. Well, those are just same scenario. Sarah using Hagar because she thought she wouldn't be able to bear, right? But here she's using Bilhah, right, to bring children into her household to show you that what Rachel and Leah did not share the same household. Everybody understand that? Jacob had 2 households. So the benefit of Leah's household did not benefit Rachel's household. They never looked at each other as one house. All right, everybody understand that? Read.
And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife, and Jacob went in unto her.
Right.
And Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, Yahweh have judged me, and have also heard my voice, and have given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan.
Right. So Dan, the word Dan, it means to judge. It means to judge. So when she saw Bilhah bear, she knew that the judgment was not on her house, but it was on her personally. So she said, the Most High has judged me. That's why I'm not having children. But now I have Bilhah here. She have a child for my house, so that my house may have children too, that we may have an increase. Read on.
Verse 7. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again, and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, with great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali.
Naphtali, right? Now it means to prevail, right? So she said, okay, now I have 2 sons in my house. He said, I figured out a way that I don't have this envy feeling towards my sister anymore. You know what I mean? My womb is not bringing forth, but at least my maid is able to bring forth, so we can have children in our home as well. Read on.
When Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah her maid and gave her Jacob to wife. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son.
Right.
And Leah said, a troop cometh, and she called his name Gad.
Right. So Leah followed what she saw Rachel do and said, "Oh, she noticed that she's not getting pregnant anymore. She's had about how many sons have Leah had at this point? 4 sons." And she said, "I don't see any more sons coming. So take my handmaid and make more sons and make more children in our household." Right. So he lay with Zilpah, and now Zilpah bringing forth Gad, which means troop. Read on.
And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a second son. And Leah said, Happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher.
Right, which means happy. Read.
And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field
Right.
and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, Give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes.
Right. So Rachel wanted some of those mandrakes that she saw Leah's son coming with. Shayla. A troop cometh, meaning that she's gonna have so much children, it's gonna be like a troop. Like, huh? I ask the question again, because uh-huh. The troop, like a troop, like an army. She's having so many sons, it's gonna be like an army, she said. It's gonna be so many sons in her house, it's going to be an army. That's why she said a troop coming. She said, I'm going to keep having sons. Because when she realized that she wasn't getting pregnant, she gave her Zilpah. Zilpah done kicked out two more children. She said, oh, you can't stop us. So she's saying a troop cometh, right? I'm about to have a whole troop worth of boys, right? Okay. She's kind of boasting, really. With that troop, will overtake them. It's similar, but it's not. It's not a prophecy of that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I see what you're going with that. A troop will take over them. Right? It might be ironic though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's some irony there. You know what I mean? That that it would one that's called a troop gets overtaken by a troop. You know what I mean? But but this is what he said about Gad. Gad, um, that she's having so many children. When she had Gad, that a troop cometh. All right, read.
Verse 14. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, Give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes.
Mhm.
And she said unto her, Is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? And wouldest thou take away my son's mandrakes also?
Right,
And Rachel said, Therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes.
right, because that day was a day that Jacob was to be in the household with Rachel. Right, but she said, you know what? If you give me the mandrakes, he can go and lay with you. He can be in your house tonight. All right. So they made a deal real quick. Right. She must have really wanted the mandrakes. I don't know. Right. I don't know what are mandrakes. It's some sort of fruit, but I don't know. Like a little orange, little orange colored fruit. She must have really wanted the mandrakes. That she says, you know what? Take Jacob with you. Let him go to your house today. Love apples. They probably got that love apple off of this story. You know what I mean? They give him that percentage. What you say now? A what? Healing herb, the mandrakes? Mhm. Is that what y'all got? Orange? Y'all looked it up? It's an orange colored fruit? Okay. So,
It's like for aphrodisiac or it's like a fertility inducing.
oh, okay. I guess now you know why she wanted mandrake so bad, right? Because nothing happened with Rachel, right? So now it makes it a lot more clearer why those mandrakes were so important to her. All right, because they induce fertility, okay, in a woman. All right, so she was willing to give up um, Jacob for that night. Right,
She was kind of like bypass the Most High, making her be able to have children.
exactly.
Take the man
She
choices.
in her own hands. Right, instead of just going to the Most High to bless her with more children, she took matters in her own hands. Said, "Listen, let me get these mandrakes. Maybe that'll fix my problem. All right, maybe that'll fix my issue. All right."
There you go.
Okay, here's what mandrakes look like. Right, aphrodisiac,
Aphrodisiac and fertility.
infertility. Okay, let's read.
Verse 16. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him and said, Thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night.
Right, so he had to come out and meet him when he's coming back. But why? He was heading to what? To Rachel. But she stopped him in the way and said, not tonight. All right, I made a purchase. You got to come with me, homeboy. Right? So, Jacob was like, is what it is. So he went to Leah. So that's what it is. He went to Leah's house. Okay, read on.
And the Most High hearkening unto Leah, and she conceived and bare Jacob the fifth son. And Leah said, The Most High have given me my hire,
Right?
because I have given my maiden to my husband. And she called his name Issachar.
Mm-hmm.
And Leah conceived again and bare Jacob the sixth son.
So Leah conceived two more times. All right. So Leah has way more children. Right now she has six sons, Leah. Okay. Read. And that's eight sons in her house, but six coming from Leah. Read.
Verse 20. And Leah said, The Most High have endowed me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him six sons.
Mm-hmm.
And she called his name Zebulon.
Right.
And afterwards she bare a daughter, and called her name Dinah. And the Most High remembered Rachel, and Yahweh hearkened unto her, and opened her womb.
Right.
And she conceived and bare a son, and said, The Most High have taken away my reproach.
Come on.
And she called his name Joseph.
Right.
And she said, The Most High shall add to me another son.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass, when Rachel had born to Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, Send me away, that I may go unto my own place and to my country.
Right.
Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served thee, and let me go.
Right.
For thou knowest my service which I have done thee. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry. For I have learned by experience that the Most High have blessed me for thy sake.
Right. So Laban is saying, listen, you don't have to leave. Because since you've been in my house, I've been blessed. All right. But Jacob said it's time for me to take my family and to move on and establish my own house. But Laban didn't want to let him leave. Read 28.
28. Okay. And he said, Appoint me thy wages, and I will give it.
Right. Whatever you want me to pay you, I'll pay you. But he just wanted him to stay. Read on.
And he said unto him, Thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me. For it was little which thou hadst before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude. And the Most High have blessed thee since my coming. And now, when shall I provide my own house also?
Yeah. Should I provide my own house also? Shouldn't I build up my own house like I built yours up? So basically what Jacob was telling Laban is like, listen, I've done a lot here for you. Your house is increased. It's time for me to go and increase my house and build up my house. All right. Read on.
Verse 31. And he said, What shall I give thee? And Jacob said, Thou shalt not give me anything. If thou wilt do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock. I will pass through all thy flock today, removing from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and of such shall be my hire.
Right. So he said, listen, I'm gonna work a little bit longer, but I want for you to pay me with all the speckled and spotted sheep, which is considered the what? The lower grade. Right? If a sheep or something was all clean white, it didn't have no spot on it, that was a high grade. Right? But he said, give me all the speckled and spotted. Give me the ones that's considered lower grade. Right? I'll take those as my hire and leave you with all the, the better flock or the better. Right? Read.
So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come from my hire before thy face. Every one that is not speckled and spotted among the goats, and brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me.
Mm-hmm.
And Laban said, behold, I would it might be according to thy word. And he removed that day the he goats that were ring straked and spotted, and all the she goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them into the hand of his sons.
Mm-hmm.
And he set 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob. And Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flock. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar, and of the hazel and chestnut tree, and peeled white streaks in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods.
Mm-hmm.
And he set the rods which he had peeled before the flocks in the gutters and the watering troughs when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink.
Right. So what? What did he know? He knew a potion or a convection that would make his cattle conceive faster, right? Would increase faster. So he took off these certain chestnut tree, the hazel, right? And he put these things together, and this caused his cattle to what? To multiply faster. So he understood some things. So we had a lot of knowledge when it comes to the herbs of the earth and what different plants and trees had the ability to do. We knew these things, and this is evidence here with the mandrakes and now with the hazel and the chestnut. We knew if we used it a certain way, we'd have a certain result. Even with our cattle. All right. So we knew the cattle would what? Multiply greatly if he were to do this way. All right. Read.
Verse 39. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle ring straight, speckled, and spotted.
All right.
And Jacob did separate the lambs, and set the faces of the flocks toward the ring straight,
Mm-hmm.
and all the brown in the flock of Laban. And he put his own flocks by themselves, and put them not into Laban's cattle.
Right.
And it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in. So the feebler were Laban's, the stronger Jacob's.
Come on.
And the man increased exceedingly, and had much cattle, and maidservants, and men servants, and camels, and donkeys.
Right. So at this point, Jacob had a way to increase himself very quickly. Right. Yeah, he knew that he had the plan down pat. Right. That he said, I'm gonna just take these real straight and these spotted. I'm gonna multiply these so fast, right, that I'm gonna have my household together and I'm able to get out of here with my substance. Okay. Because that was the key, that he had to come out and leave with something, right? That he can start his own family. Read on.
Genesis chapter 31 and 1. And he heard the words of Laban's sons, saying, Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's have he gotten all this glory.
Right. So his sons, Laban's family, started speaking illly about Jacob, because they see how strong Jacob's flocks is starting to look. And they say, wait a minute, he's taking away all our father's flocks. Was that what he did? No. Right? His flocks was born unto him. Right? He used the flocks that Laban said he could use, gave them the secret sauce, as he called it, right? And then they ended up what? Producing faster than Laban's cattle. And he took the offspring and set them apart, right, for himself. Okay, read on.
Verse 2. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not toward him as before.
Right, so now Laban's face, what's your countenance? The way you look, your expression. So he says, Laban ain't dealing with me the same way he used to deal with me. He used to look at me like a son. Now he's looking at me like a problem, right? Because all the murmuring is coming out about how much flock Jacob had for himself. Okay, read on.
Verse 3. And the Most High said unto Jacob, return unto the land of thy fathers and to thy kindred, and I will be with thee. And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock, and said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not toward me as before. But the Most High, but the power of my father have been with me. And ye know that with all my power I have served your father. And your father have deceived me and changed my wages 10 times. But the Most High suffered him not to hurt me. If he said thus, the speckle shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckled. And if she had thus, the ring straight shall be thy hire. Then bear all the cattle ring straight. Thus the Most High have taken away the cattle of your father and given them to me.
Right. So every time they had a plan, the Most High heard that plan, and everything worked towards Jacob's favor. If he said, okay, you could take all the ring straight, then every cow that was born would be ring straight. If he said you could have all the speckled, every cow that was born would be speckled. So there's nothing he could do. Every deal they made, the Most High intervened and made it to benefit Jacob. Okay, read on.
Verse 10. And it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up mine eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ring straight, speckled, and grizzled. And the angel of the Most High spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, here am I. Here am I. And he said, lift up now thine eyes and see, all the rams which leap upon the cattle are ring straight, speckled, and grizzled. For I have been all that Laban doeth unto thee. I am the power of Bethel, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowest a vow unto me. Now arise, get thee out of this land, and return unto the land of thy kindred.
Right.
And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? Are we not counted of him strangers? For he have sold us and have quite devoured also our money. For all the riches which the Most High have taken from our father, that is ours, and our children's, now then whatsoever the Most High have said unto thee, do. Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels, and he carried away all his cattle and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting which he had gotten in Padan Aram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, and that he told him not that he fled.
Right. So
he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river and set his face toward the Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the 3rd day that Jacob was fled. And he took his brethren with him and pursued after him 7 days' journey. And they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. And the Most High came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night and said unto him, take heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the mount of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, What hast thou done that thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives taken with the sword?
Right.
Wherefore didst thou flee away secretly and steal away from me, and didst not tell me that I might have sent thee away with mirth and with songs, with tabret and with harp, and hast not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters? Thou hast now done foolishly in so doing.
Right.
It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt. But the
Mm.
Most High, or the power of your father, spake unto me yesternight, saying, Take thou heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. And now thou wouldest needs be gone, though thou wouldest needs to be gone, because thou so longest after my father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? And Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, for I said, Peradventure thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me.
Right.
With whomsoever thou findest thy gods, let him not live. Before our brethren discern thou what is thine with me, and take it to thee. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them.
Right. So Rachel stole her father's um idols. He had idols, and Rachel took those idols and hid them. But you know, which you can kind of understand probably why that's why she was not bearing right, any children, because she had these idols, right? Uh, idol worship and things of that sort. Yeah, with her father. All right. So she knew she was doing wickedly. All right. But Jacob was unaware of this. All right. So now, Laban is now searching for his items and stepping to Jacob as if Jacob stole them. Okay. We'll pick it up. Read on.
Verse 33.
Uh huh.
And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the two maidservants' tents, but he found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent and entered into Rachel's tent.
Right. So everybody had a tent, right? So you had uh Jacob had a tent, Leah had a tent, Rachel had a tent, and the two servants had their tents, right? So everybody had their own tent. All right, let's read.
Verse 34. Now Rachel had taken the images and put them in the camel's furniture and sat upon them.
Mhm.
And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father, Let it not displease my lord that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me. And he searched, but found not the images.
So what she tried to tell? What she tell her father? She got a period. She can't get up. Still, she real slick. That's how you know this is Jacob, man. You know this is Israel. You know Israel is our people because she was being real slick. All right. The customer's woman upon me. The father would want nothing to do with that. So he said, all right, just go on, sit over there. Let me go search up every place. All right. Read.
Verse 36. And Jacob was wroth and chode with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, What is my trespass? What is my sin that thou hast so hotly pursued after me? Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff, what hast thou found of all thy household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge betwixt us both.
Right. So he said, you found something, set it here so we can talk about it. Anybody got a silver Honda Accord? Blocking someone. They're trying to get out. Silver Honda Accord. All right. Oh, hallelujah. All right. So now they said set the item before us so these brothers can judge who stole your stuff. All right, read on.
Verse 38. This 20 years have I been with thee. Thy ewes and thy she goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flock have I not eaten. That which was torn of beasts I brought not unto thee. I bear the loss of it. Of my hand didst thou require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. Thus I was. In the day the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from mine eyes. Thus have I been 20 years in thy house. I served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle, and thou hast changed my wages 10 times.
Mm.
Except the power of my father, the power of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had been with me, surely thou hadst sent me away now empty. The Most High have seen my affliction and my labor of my hands, and rebuked thee yesternight.
Come on.
And Laban answered and said unto Jacob, these daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all that thou seest is mine. And what can I do this day unto these my daughters, or unto the children which they have borne? Now therefore come thou, let us make a covenant, I and thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee. And Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. And Jacob said, his brethren, gather stones. And they took stones and made an heap, and they did eat there upon the heap. And Laban called it Jergah Shahadutah,
Hmm.
but Jacob called it Galed.
Galid.
Galed.
Hmm.
And Laban said, this heap is a witness between me and thee this day.
Right.
Therefore was the name of it called Galed.
Hmm.
And Mizpah, for he said, the Most High have Slakia, the Most High watch between me and thee when we are absent one from another.
Right.
If thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take other wives beside my daughters,
Hmm.
no man is with us.
Hmm.
See, the Most High is witness betwixt me and thee.
Right.
And Laban said to Jacob, behold, this heap, and behold, this pillar, which I have cast betwixt me and thee.
Right.
This heap be witness, and this pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and that thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm.
Right.
The power of Abraham and the power of Nahor, the power of their father, judge betwixt us. And Jacob sware by the fear of his father Isaac.
Right. So what? They made a pact. They made an oath between the two of them that they won't have no more problems and issues. Right. He says, listen, if you take my daughters, that that you take care of them. You know what I'm saying? If you take other wives, that you take care of my daughters. Right. And he says, they both had their say so in their pact and their plan, their oath to one another. And they put it on their Most High, and they put it on the fear of the power of Abraham and Isaac, right? So what did they put it on? They put it on the Most High, that they will not have any more issues anymore between Laban and Jacob. All right, they had a oath right here. Okay, let's read.
Verse 54. Then Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mount,
Mm-hmm.
and called his brethren to eat bread. And they did eat bread and tarried all night in the mount.
Mm-hmm.
And early in the morning, Laban rose up and kissed his sons and his daughters and blessed them. And Laban departed and returned unto his place.
Right.
Chapter 32. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of the Most High met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, this is the power's host. And he called the name of that place Mahanaim. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother unto the land of Seir, the country of Edom.
Right. So hold on a second. I think that's ended, right? All right. So that ends the portion for this Shabbat day. Get the Most High hand. Hallelujah. Very good portion of our history. We learned a lot in this portion, like always, as we go through our history, that we read to revisit our heritage, to come back to who we are as a people. Without these records, we would not know who we are. Remember that. Without these records, this is our record book. The Bible is not a religious book, just a random book. It's our records of our existence. All right. We don't have any other records of our existence. Everybody understand that? Without this Bible, the Most High would allow this Bible to be taken away. He would have allowed us to be taken away. All right. That's how important it is that we learn this history, that we understand every precept that we read. Okay. Give me Jeremiah 6 and 16 real quick. And then we're going to wrap it in. Jeremiah 6 and 16. All right. So, be encouraged. Keep studying. Keep learning your heritage. Keep going to the scriptures, seeing how we did things and what it means to be a Hebrew Israelite chosen of the Most High. Read that.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 6 and verse 16.
Uh-huh.
Thus saith the Most High,
right?
Stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old paths.
For what path?
The old paths.
Ask for the old paths. Ask for how did we do it historically? Who are we? What did the Most High have for us to do, and how do we interact with Him so we can reestablish that in our lives today? Read on.
Where is the good way?
Where is the what?
Where is the good way?
Where is the good way? Right? And do what? Read on.
And walk therein.
And walk therein every day. So as you learn this history, you're learning about yourself and how you should be walking and how you should be interacting. Right? So take all these things that we're learning in account. All right? Take it in account and given the opportunity, put it in action. Okay? The keeping of the law is what's going to increase your wisdom in these last days by you keeping His word. All right? His statutes and His commandments. So with all that being said, I think we're going to wrap it in. We're going to send up the closing prayer. We're going to face Jerusalem and thank the Most High for giving us a blessed Shabbat. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Who's the power?
Yahweh is the power.
Who's the power?
Yahweh is the power.
By Hashem?
Yahweh Shah.
By Hashem?
Yahweh Shah.
Kurash, kurash, kurash.
Kadash, Kadash, Kadash.
Holy, holy, holy.
Holy, holy, holy.
Is a name.
Is a name.
Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Holy, holy, holy.
Holy, holy, holy.
Is a name.
Is a name.
Hamashiach.
Mashiach.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Kwam Abanawa Yahweh.
Kum Abanawa Yahweh.
Kwam Abanawa Yahweh.
Kum Abanawa Yahweh.
Kwam Mashiach Yahweh Shai.
Kum Mashiach Yahweh Shai.
Kwam Mashiach Yahweh Shai.
Kum Mashiach Yahweh Shai.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kum Yasharela.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kum Yasharela.
Barakatha Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
By Hashem.
By Hashem.
Hamashiach.
Mashiach.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Ahawa'ah.
Yahweh.
Natananawa.
Tananawa.
Hashabbat.
Hashabbat.
Bashalom.
Shalom.
Babakashah.
Barakashah.
Shemai.
Shemai.
Zapalayim.
Balaya.
Barak.
Barak.
Barapah.
Barapah.
Wakazak.
Wakazak.
Ramagan.
Wamagan.
Rashma'ayel.
Ishmael.
Akim.
Akim.
Wa.
Wa.
Akwathim.
Akwafim.
Babikushah.
Babakushah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
By Hashem.
By Hashem.
Hamashiach.
Mashiach.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahak.
Yahat.
Shaitan.
Shatan.
Yahak.
Yahat.
Shaitan.
Shatan.
Yahak.
Yahat.
Ko.
Ko.
Rai.
Rai.
Rahim.
Rahaya.
Yahak.
Yahat.
Ko.
Ko.
Rai.
Rai.
Rahim.
Rahaya.
Babikushah.
Babakushah.
Babikushah.
Babakushah.
Babikushah.
Babakushah.
All praises be to power in Isaac and Jacob for his mercy, truly endure forever. We thank thee, Yahweh, for giving us a Shabbat day in peace. We ask you, Yahweh, to bless, heal, protect, and watch over the brothers and sisters of Yasharallah. We also ask Yahweh that you take away all evil spirits from the midst of thy people that you rid us from all the works of Shaitan, and that you continue to bless us and keep us nigh unto thee, to making us a new heart, a clean heart unto thy ways. We pray the Most High that you clean our hands, that you forgive us for our sins and hold not our iniquity against us, that you blot out all our iniquity that we have performed, and that you forgive us and receive our supplication on high. For through thy blessings, Yahweh, do we live. Through thy precepts do we get knowledge. So continue to fortify us with thy precepts. Continue to bless us with thy tender mercies. All this we ask in the name of thy Son, Hamashiach Yahushua. Let all that have breath praise Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Let all that have breath praise Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Bahashem Hamashiach Yahushua. Tawada Thimyad. Amen.
Amen.
Give him a hand. Hallelujah. In the mouth of babes, Yahweh perfected praise. In the mouth of babes, Yahweh perfected. In the mouth of babes, Yahweh perfected praise. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh yeah, just the sisters. In the mouth of babes, in the mouth of babes, in the mouth of babes, Yahweh perfected praise. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh yeah, I want to hear from the brothers right now. In the mouth of babes, in the mouth of babes, in the mouth of babes. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, Israel, let's go. In the mouth of babes. In the mouth of babes. In the mouth of babes. Yahweh perfected praise. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, yeah. Glory, glory. Glory, glory, hallelujah, hallelujah, yeah. Worship to be our ruler. Our enemies shall fall right before our feet, while the saints come marching on. From the top, let's go. Glory, glory, hallelujah, yeah. Worship to be our ruler. Our enemies shall fall right before our feet. I still don't know. And go marching on while the saints go marching. From the top, let's go. Glory, glory, hallelujah, yeah. Be our ruler. Our enemies shall fall right before our feet, while the go marching. Holla, while the saints go on and on and on and on, and while the saints go marching, while the saints go marching. Real, let's go. Real. Yahweh shines real to me. Hallelujah. Gives me the victory. Many people, but I can't live with. That is why Yahweh shine real to me. From the top, let's go. Real. Hallelujah. Oh, yes. Gives me the victory. Many people that I can't live with. That is why Yahweh shine real to me. One more time. Real. Hallelujah. Gives me the victory. Many people that I can't live with. That is why Yahweh, there's no power. Let's go. There's no power breaking up the universe. Always doing. Let all Israel sing amen. Amen. Hallelujah. 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 Amen. 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 Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let's count out. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Brothers, wake up. 5, to reality. 6, nationality. Hit it. Israel. 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 Later, when I'm sleeping in my, start to creeping in my boat, in my boat, in my boat. One more time for the top. Let's count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Brothers, wake up. 5, 6. Nationality. Hit it. Israel. 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 Late when I'm sleeping in my, start to creeping in my, in my boat, in my, in my boat, in my boat. All praises be to the power of Isaac and Jacob, for his mercy truly endure forever. It is a blessing and honor to praise the Most High with the children of Israel. I pray that they'll go forth and have a blessed week and continue to praise the Most High, for his name is worthy to be praised. Hallelujah.